back on the Dumont. I've pretty much decided not to try a soft power-up on this with the light bulbs or a Variac, just because of the severity of, you can see it better here now, of this. Whatever that was, I would definitely call a catastrophic failure. If only for the, well, I can almost guarantee you that when that occurred, it probably filled the room or whatever this was completely full of acrid smoke. If anything, that would have probably been off-putting enough just to cart the thing out of the house and put it in the shed and just be done with it. But I'm trying to imagine what would have had quite that much liquid in it just to be able to soak this entire board here. I mean, look at this. This, whatever it was, just completely went to town. I mean, it's soaked through the screw hole there and all over the place. It's a mess. And that's about the only place that occurred. You can't really see much through there other than it looks like a bunch of the original capacitors are still in place. But I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling this chassis out and see what I got. 5/16, I think these, yeah. Okay. I've got 3 screws out of the bottom. I can't tell, it looks like there might be, what is that? Is that, oh, it's something from the top. Yeah, I'll have to undo that phono jack. And then it looks like there might be one there. Yeah, that's screwed into that panel. And then the CRT stays with the cabinet. So the yoke and looks like this thing uses a focus ring. That'll have to be undone. Looks like it's got just a single modular connector for both. That's okay. But beyond that, I've already got the knobs pulled off the front. This thing should slide out. Okay, I had to fight with this thing. This thing was glued down to the wood by whatever this stuff was. But it is loose now. And I think there's a high voltage lead that clips to the front of, usually clips to the front of these metal cone tubes. And my half-ass lighting here. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it down there. But it's right there. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on with that? It looks like it's clipped to the mount. Is that whole mount energized when the thing? No. It's not even metal. It's plastic. Well, what? Break it. What the heck? Looks like it needs to be, oh. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. It actually unplugs from the high voltage cage. Well, that's novel. Very clever. So I think this thing's loose now. Oh yeah. Thing's ready to pop. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna need to, oh, I still gotta undo that phono jack, but yeah, I'll need both my hands to do this. Stand by. Well, there it is. Do you see it? scan over there. See a lot of secondary corrosion just from exposure to whatever that stuff was on the bottom of the cabinet. Sort of creeping up the side here. Do you see it? Neither do I. It actually looks really good. But what? I mean, there's still residue on this thing from whatever that was. What the heck? Is it that flyback? There's no evidence of it dripping down. Looks okay. The choke looks okay, or whatever that is. It's probably a horizontal coupling transformer or something. Judging by the way this looks, it might have been okay to do a soft start in the cabinet. It looked terrible for the outside. A couple of, this has been serviced before. It's got a 50s or late 60s era capacitor in it. A couple of them. There, that's definitely a later part. Yeah, so 1961 would have been about right, because I don't see any evidence that this would have been serviced using later components after that time. Looks good. I mean, unless this failed at one time and was replaced, but it doesn't look like it. Who would have replaced this monster with an OE Dumont part? Look at that thing. That thing's specialized. For use with trans or cap on what? Something color or something. I mean, looks damn good. I think what I'm gonna do is put it back in the cabinet and try a soft start. See what happens. I expected to find something that, it had to have been this. I mean, that, I have a feeling that failed, and because that's the only thing that really would have contained enough oil to soak the cabinet, really. Because that is an oil capacitor. Look at that. Hopefully it's not PCB. Full of PCBs. I'm gonna wash my hands. Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like there's remnants of what was a service tag on this at one time. It's too bad that's missing. I don't think it's in the cabinet. No. Fortunately not. Oh, 13,000 volts. That's enough to wake you up. And it is full of these can-dome resistors, I'm noticing. All those will have to be checked. And I wouldn't, yeah. I'm not going to leave those in there. Those are just waiting to fail. Same with those. These are difficult to replace without, you know, and make them look right. There's just no real way to do that, because you got to replace these with big ass resistors, and they're just, you got to put them somewhere, and they're usually on the outside of the chassis because of the heat. There's not a lot of room to do that. I'll figure something out. But anyway, slide this back in and do a soft start. I've got this thing hooked up to my certified laboratory grade variable resistor here. And when you do this, make sure to use the absolute thinnest gauge Chinese test lead that you can find for all 365 watts that this pulls. That way the temperature wires run really hot and their conductivity actually stabilizes. No, don't listen to me, kids. All right, that's all I got. Let's see what happens. Oh, and fire extinguisher, safety first. Okay. Now, I think this thing's red A. All right. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Should be ready to go. I'm not sure if those are off or on. Pop a knob back on here. Okay. That's on. Woo! Yeah. Boy, this is gonna draw a lot of current. Good freaking grief. Oh, that's unacceptable. This thing's pulling a lot of current. Have filament voltage? No. No filaments. Yeah, something is definitely wrong with this thing. I wasn't expecting miracles. I mean, those should not, those are next to full brightness. Not quite, actually, they're probably about 75%. But that's just not. Something is drawing so much current that there's enough of a voltage drop across those where it's not even, the tubes aren't, the filament circuit isn't even lighting up. So what does that mean? Short somewhere, a bad capacitor or something. No. Is it the correct fuse? What's it call for? 5 amp? What is this? 5 amp. So, I guess it's okay. Maybe there's not a short. Maybe this thing just 365, damn near 400 watts this thing pulls. That may be natural. I mean, yeah, I wish I could get to the bottom of this to make some voltage checks. But, yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, the one thing I'm noticing is that the rectifier tubes aren't even lighting up. And if those aren't lighting up because there's no filament voltage, then the B plus is not going to be conducting at all. So there's no chance that these capacitors could be reformed with no B plus available. Which then kind of begs the question, you know, we have a shorted capacitor, then that couldn't be what is pulling that much current through the circuit. So what's going on here? Do I dare bypass it? Could. Should I just plug it in and let her rip? I hate to do that. I want to save this thing. Well, let me try something else. I just did a real quick power up. I mean, just a real quick. I'll do it again here. But this is what I'm observing. I can hear the transformer humming really loud. I don't know if you can hear that. But the tubes are starting to light up, so the filament circuit is okay. I just think what's going to happen, as soon as those rectifiers light up, they're going to start arcing, because there's no way, I mean, this thing's been sitting around, presumably, has been sitting around for so long, I expect those capacitors to be almost dry or just a dead short. And that's going to draw a lot of current through those suckers. But fortunately, I don't have a variac handy anymore. Waiting for the smoke to start rolling out of this thing. That's not going to happen. Those rectifiers are lighting up enough to where they should be conducting, allowing some current to flow through them. You should be knocking those filter capacitors around pretty well by now. All right, that's enough. These things are even getting warm. These are insulated. It's going to be tough to tell. Yeah, I don't know. No, I mean, I don't think that was long enough to really be a good test. Try this again. I'm living dangerously here. It's the only way to live. I'm not even hearing any hum out of the speaker. I would think that that would be the first thing to evidence that I've got an open cap or something. Oh. I hear an oscillator trying to start. Possibly the vertical? The rectifier tubes aren't arcing over. That's surprising. This is not the way to test these things, just by applying brute force AC power after letting them sit for so long. But yeah, I don't know if that noise is coming through, but there's definitely some transformer hum, and then I can't tell if that's a horizontal or vertical oscillator. Oh, it's the vertical. You hear that? The vertical output transformer right there. Yeah, vertical. I didn't hear the horizontal though. Yeah, no, there's nothing. Okay, that's good enough for a test.